Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Thursday morning, the 11th day of May, 2023. This is the morning briefing, and what a good-looking morning we have underway. As I look out the window from the home office, I don't see a cloud. There are a couple, but I don't see a cloud from this view. It is a relatively cool morning, but from here, the theme is going to be a warming trend. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about is just how warm it's going to get. And now that the weekend is becoming into the range of our better models, our shorter range models, that we are getting a better idea of where and when we may be seeing some of those showers or thunderstorms over the weekend. And the general trend here is that the overall extent of any showers or thunderstorms in the Sierra on Sunday is a lot less than what we had been thinking a couple of days ago, which is good, especially for those of you that do want to spend Mother's Day outdoors. So I'll show you the extent of any of those thunderstorms we might see over the course of the weekend. I do want to start off with a rather cool little feature that picked out on the satellite first thing this morning, and it's right in here. I know it's kind of tough to see because all the white that you see here, this is the snowpack, and above that you see some high, thin clouds going on by, but it's this little area right in here. So I noticed on the observations this morning that Truckee had a temperature of 30 degrees and was reporting fog. Well, this little area, and as you can see, it's beginning to shrink. See how that area right there is shrinking as we go through this short little time lapse? Well, that's fog. That's fog that's in the cold valley. So what happens is the colder valleys in the Sierra have a little bit of moisture in them. And as the temperature drops down to the dew point first thing in the morning, you get fog, and you get some fog down in the basin first thing in the morning. And then as we go through the day, that will erode, and Truckee and other places will break out into a good amount of sunshine. Otherwise, we also have an extensive amount of marine layer in places like Marin County, and then in the South Bay, very extensive, as well as down here toward Monterey. Other than that, the area is clear. Not a cloud to be found. Everything's still looking nice and green on the satellite, as you can see in here. That's also good for the early to mid part of May. Let's see as we just scroll around. There's Shasta right there. Beautiful. As you can see, there's still a fair amount of snow in the Trinity Alps, as well as all the way down the crest of the Sierra. And down here, as the snow really is highlighted here, there's Mono Lake. There is still very extensive snow for this time of year, all the way down the southern Sierra especially. And this is going to cause perhaps some flooding issues later on this weekend, and I'll talk more about that here in just a second. But beautiful satellite this morning. All right, I'm going to show you a different version of the 500 millibar chart this morning to show you the warming that's coming in. So yeah, here's California. It's kind of zoomed in on the 500 millibar chart. And so what we have here are the height lines, the 570 line here, and then the shaded colors are the temperatures. And there is a temperature scale down in here. And these colors are warmer colors. And if we ever got into the purples, this is a warmer color. These gray areas are colder colors. So as you look here, that's colder. This down here is warmer. All right, so as we go through the next couple of days, you can see how the ridge builds. This is later on today, the 570 line building up to the Oregon state line and then going way up to Washington. And this is Friday as warmer air moves in, and you can clearly see that ridge. So we have the 576 line way up here, and that means warmer temperatures aloft. And then this is Friday night and into Saturday. And this is very warm air here, as well as offshore flow. So if you look at the wind barbs here, they are pointing to an offshore wind. So when you have warm temperatures aloft and an offshore wind, that's how you get your warmest days. And some of the models are picking out temperatures in the valley in the mid to upper 90s. And in a scenario like this, I wouldn't be surprised if on Saturday we could get places like Redding up to 100 degrees. We could even see that as far south as maybe even Marysville by Saturday. So Saturday, the warm day, but watch what happens to the east. So this is first thing Saturday morning. Northern California is still warm, but over here, over Utah, is a little low. And this is that retrograding low that we've been looking at. And here it backs up and comes back into California as we get into the day on Sunday. And what that effectively does is pushes that warmest air out and creates just enough instability over the Sierra that we can get a chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. This is Sunday afternoon. Temperatures will still be warm on Sunday, but it does look as though Saturday is likely going to be the peak warmest day. So this is the way the NAM looks at it. And I mentioned that we are now into the range of the higher resolution models, and that's what I mean. It's into the range of the North American model. And so this is Sunday around 11 o'clock in the morning. You can see the showers breaking out into Nevada, but California is still clear and dry. And then the North American model is picking out an afternoon thunderstorm. This is 5 o'clock in the afternoon around Truckee, and as well as farther north. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some of this activity into Plumas County as we go into Sunday night and into Monday. But this is much more limited than what the models were looking at earlier, and we'll continue to fine-tune this even more over the next couple of days. But I think that, let's say you're having lunch outdoors, this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and while there'll be some clouds, I think if you're having lunch outdoors at Garwoods or any other great place in the Tahoe Basin, it's going to be just fine. And of course, the valley, the foothills will also be dry with just a few clouds kind of spilling down the hill. All right, with this warmer weather moving in, I did want to highlight one area of concern. This is the Carson River. This is the West Fork of the Carson River at Woodford's. So for those of you that live downstream, this is going to flood stage, and this can start to impact, and this is by the way, that's Monday here. So this is the forecast. That purple line is forecast, and this is by Monday and Tuesday of next week. Going to flood stage, that means it can start to impact some agricultural areas, maybe even parts of 395, and with warmer weather expected once that little low moves out again next week, we'll likely see more flooding issues on the east side of the Sierra along 395 on both forks of the Carson River and the Walker River, and maybe even the Merced River in Yosemite. Wouldn't be surprised if next week we get another closure of the Yosemite Valley as the Merced River could go up again as a result of the warmer weather we're going to see. I showed you the extensive snowpack that we still have in the Sierra. We will get back into that snow melt as we get into especially the early and middle part of next week. We've had a bit of a hiatus here. The first 10 days of May were cooler than average. It slowed down the snow melt, didn't end it. It just kind of slowed it down. But as we heat back up with valley temperatures in the 80s and 90s, we are going to see snow melt become an issue once again, especially on the east side of the Sierra, as we head into the weekend and into next week. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. Today is Thursday, which means that there will be a Facebook live chat tonight at 8 o'clock. And of course, I'll be on KCRA tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 7, on 58 at 10, and back on KCRA 3 at 11. Make it a great day. I'll talk to you later.